Hey, welcome back everybody. We're in the garage here again with Chaz, another week. Gonna keep on trucking, we're gonna keep on going, trying to weld up the things up in the front here, things that we closed up there last week. And I'd like to get this spun around here. There we go. Get this rear arch closed up, get that fender hung in there. Thanks very much for coming back. Really appreciate all of you that come and watch the videos. Smash the like button for me, hit share, drop a comment, tell me something about yourself. Give me a story about an old car, Volkswagen or otherwise. Really appreciate all of you coming by. Thanks very much. One little thing you might notice, had to trim off the goatee. I was laying underneath welding. I was just imagining the rig catching myself on fire, so I shaved her back. Drive me nuts anyway. The goal was to let it grow until I finished the bus. I was like, no, I just can't handle it. Well, it's gone, but we're gonna keep working. Cheers. All right, got the Outrigger jacking point, inner and middle and top hat all welded up in this end. Got it welded on this side and on the other side, so this corner is completely welded up. Started welding in the cross member at the bottom, so it's welded its way across on the inside of the frame. On that side, all straightened up. Still have to do all the welds across this lip between the top hat and the cross member below it, so I'm going to work on that next. Gonna have to be a little bit tricky on the bottom side and underneath the cab area. Pretty tight place to get into, so I'm probably going to have to use a series of clamps, drill a small hole, and then puddle weld with good penetration into that hole to get everything right together. There's no way I'm going to get the pinch welder up inside there. And I'm not too sure I'm going to be able to get it in here real easy too, with all these cables and stuff. Pretty hard space to get into, so I'm probably going to have to do puddle welds along there as well. Which, simply drilling a hole through the top piece, or the side you're welding from. Start welding against the metal on the other side of the hole, because it's not drilled through both pieces. Start welding into that and working it around to fuse the two together. Essentially gives you a hot weld, but plug weld. At least that's what it's going to be. Looking pretty good. It's coming along. Gonna be able to close that section off. It's gonna make it super rigid. It's already quite rigid. Even just getting this stuff buttoned up, it was tacked on. It was already super solid. Now nothing moves. It's just nice and solid. Going to weld this bottom edge all the way along here too with the pinch welder, and then probably won't go past the C-post at this point, because I might have to do a little bit of manipulation right where it joins the rear tub. So I just want to make sure I've got everything buttoned up there real good before I get too far ahead of myself. Gonna try and start closing up this arch as well. Got the pieces lined up, they fit well. I took the tacks off just to modify one more little bit, so I'm going to work on that today as well. Let's do it.
All right, gonna get a little bit of a look what we got going on here. So this is a B-post repair piece. Repair the front of this B-post. I trimmed it up as high as I could. I've still got a few more inches above the, even where you can see in the camera, just above the line of a repair part. I'm going to open up as much of that as I can. And I'm thinking I can even trim right into this track. What I can't tell is if this piece, yeah, it goes into that track. This piece will go in here, well, about like that. And when it sits on there, this is going to go over top of this piece. So I'll be able to weld it all nice along here with puddle welds again. I'll punch holes in this piece. It'll slide on over this. We'll weld in all these pieces, grind it smooth, fit the fender back end. It'll be nice and solid. From up here, we're going to have to get a few pieces in there, or get a couple welds in here where I can. I can weld from the back edge inside the bus, and maybe I can get another bead down inside here just to make that good and solid. A few pieces inside to do here and in here just to close all this up. Get that B-post nice and solid, get this cap to fit on. When that's done, this is installed. Then our last closeout piece here is going to go in there. We'll trim that to fit in nice as well. Probably do a couple of repairs up on this inner dog leg. There's still some repairs to do on it, and I'm questioning whether it's worth it, but we'll see. There's a hole there, a couple little spots to deal with. Boy, I'd like to just replace it, but we'll see. That could be a job to do in the near future. Well, not near future, 5 years out or whatever. But we're gonna get the structural things solid before we get too far ahead of ourselves. Just gonna clean this up a little bit. That's looking pretty good. I'd love to have a way to spot weld this guy in there all the way up, but I don't with this dog leg on there. The only way for me to get in there anymore is to get this dog leg off like I had to do on the other side, but we don't really want to go up and bite off a bunch more on this particular job right now. I really like how that panel fits all the way up to where I was having any corrosion issues on the inside of the dog leg. And that's going to really close out the B-post nicely. We'll be able to weld that up. Weld it all the way up nice in here, get a nice bead. There's just some repairs to do down at the bottom. We're going to do those repairs before this piece gets put in place permanently, because it'll be a lot harder to get to them after. So we'll be able to clean up some of those things. This little corroded area is over here, so you can see a bit better. So right down in here, there's some corrosion areas. In here. But those can get replaced. That's this edge here on the dog leg, so that's gonna go in there like that. That's gonna close that up real nice. Yeah. I think it's gonna be okay. It's looking pretty good. Let's keep going. I don't know if you get a good look at that there. Trying to make a good look, but you can see where the panel part comes up. Harder to see with the door open. I think I'll try. Alright, you can get a decent look here what that B-post closeout panel kind of looks like. It's fitting up there nice. I should be able to suck it in a little bit tighter here. I don't know, not much, because there's one other spacer metal in there. Then the last black panel that's down here, that'll go in there, do some trimming, get everything to fit, and that's going to close that up super, super nice. That front outrigger and cross member support, with the outriggers, the cross member in between the outriggers, the top hat all the way across, everything welded up all the way to this B-post and reconstructed. Going to make this thing super, super solid, probably better than it has been in half her life. You know, some of these issues have been up inside there for probably since Brad has owned it, because there was some patchwork done to fiberglass this kind of area to hide damage. Should have been fixed back then. It wasn't, and we're going to do it now, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. We can fix it, and we're going to. So, not sure what to do with this dog leg. I would like to just wait out on it and do it later on. So if I can just salvage it and do a couple small repairs and deal with the dog leg later, we will do that. But we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to take that patch back out of there, start fixing up some of the two other sides on the inside of the dog leg, or sorry, B-post, and then we can get this fit in place. Let's do it. Alright, starting to get that B-post inside piece done. So we got the continuation down here and attached, still the warm, attached to the tray, welded there, added a piece that's on this plane, got that in. We're going to clean up this edge. We're going to add another strip just in here. So I want to be able to make sure I've got a good strip on that edge this way. And I'm going to meet it along this, and we're going to grind that nice and clean. We're going to be a fair bit of a gap there to weld shut so that I can grind the profile nice and clean to make sure I have lots of material left for when it gets put back together. But right now, we've got two sides of that B-post completely squared away. We've got this piece down here, gray one, this guy. He's going to be going in on the front. And we've got the outer piece, this guy, gray one over there. He's going to be going out here. Okay, I'm going to try a little bit of this again. So this inner edge has to come off, and I'm going to cut it off all the way up in here. Let's try and set this up so you guys can just see. Okay, so this edge has to come off. So I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to use the finger grinder to get the back piece that's in there off, because that shape is much like this. So this piece that's in here, I'm going to trim this off so I can get the finger grinder in, grind down the welds, and get that piece off so that I only have this inside piece of the B-post, which joins together. And if you look back here, you can see this B-post goes in here and joins here. And then there's a seam. So that's all spot welded. I want to get this front piece off so that I can puddle weld new spots in there. I'm only going to go as high as I need to. We're going to rebuild this front area down to here and just kind of grind away what I need to get that welded real nice. I'm going to weld from this side. I'm going to probably weld from the back side as well. I want that really thick so I can grind that down so that the new B-post outer skin will fit on nice. I'm going to weld it from both sides to give myself a lot of material to be able to grind the profile down to where I need it without making the surface area thin and kind of compromised, I'll say. But that's what we're up to next. I'm going to wrap it up for today, though. I'll come back tomorrow and see if we can get this B-post finished up tomorrow. Get those pieces to fit, get the inner panel to fit, and that will be a pretty big week if we get all that stuff squared away. At any rate, let's do it. All right, I'm gonna show you a little bit of what we got going on here. B-post. See it covered in the dust from welding, but we got this bottom section repaired. Got a new piece in here, secured to this part on the back here, top of the door track, the door slide. So we got that piece in there. Put a piece in on this side, secured it to the bottom of the tray or the track, and to the top section again on the inside here of the door track, the top section of the door track. And then there's the actual track guide here that it rolls on. And then we made this little piece here. Removed the back piece because this part of the B-post is one stamp, and then there's another part that stamps on and welds onto this surface here. I showed you guys yesterday. So this part here is going to be welding in there. Of course, it doesn't fit in there right now. This is a bit too wide to sit in that groove. So that's got to be trimmed back, so we'll slide in there and fit like that, all the way up behind you. And this surface is going to weld onto this surface. We're going to keep on going. I want to trim some of this away, up at least to this point, because I'm going to replace up to there. And then I'm going to take the finger grinder and I'm going to get that back piece off like I mentioned yesterday. Once that's off and nice and clean, then I'll weld this little gap shut here. You can probably see the light through it now in here. Get that welded up and cleaned up. I don't want to weld it now because it's probably going to weld to this part, and I want that. So right now we have this part, when this goes in, that's going to create the track that the door seal comes to. It's going to join on the track seal that goes down here. So that's rebuilt. It's nice and solid, welded to the bottom of this. Everything's nice. There's no pinholes in it. There's this groove here left to do. And we'll kind of clean it up, grind it up, rust treat it. We're going to probably just prime it, or maybe a spray bond paint, just kind of get some paint to protect the metal on it before I close up the last pieces. Yeah, but it's coming along. We'll keep going. Get this piece cleared off and get this to fit in there. So that fits in there, along with this piece. This piece will sit in here like this. And that piece just goes like that. And that's going to be right up in here. Like that. That'll slide in. It'll weld in here. It's going to weld to the back side of this. The top is going to weld in here. And this whole edge is going to weld to the front that we're starting to rebuild now. And that's going to box in this B-post. This is also going to get welded all the way along the back, on the inside of this edge from inside the bus. And that'll secure that really nice. And should be good to go. Definitely coming along. It will be boxed in, solid, in the very near future. Let's do it. Alright, so we got that in part ground off and chiseled off. I got a little bit of cleaning to do up here. This piece now is a bit too wide to get in there. You can see this sticking out too far, and it won't quite fit. So I got to take some of that off. So I ran a marker line down just the edge, and I'm going to take that much material off, this little blue line. I'll just use the flappy disc sander. Take that down just so that it's a little bit narrower, and then that should fit in. I could squeeze it in there a little bit, but I got a little bit of a high spot right here to clean down yet. But I'll be able to squeeze that in there. Then I'll be able to mark it for the height I need to be exactly where I want it down here. And then start prepping to fit that in. And it should come together fairly nice. There is a little bit of an edge here that I've got to deal with. Not sure if I'm going to cut that off. I probably will, just to make a nice new clean piece, re-weld it here at the back corner. Anyway, we're going to play with that. Going to trim this down just to start fitting it in. And I'm probably going to call it a day, because we're going to do some things around the house here with some family today. So I've only got a little bit longer to kind of play out here, and then I got to get cleaned up and participate in other activities. Let's do it. All right, that's kind of getting a look at what it's going to be like to, oops, that. That's what it could start to look like. So that's fitting in there nice. A little bit of sharp edge on it, mind you. We're going to straighten out a few things. I got a little bit of a wow in it there. Want those things nice and straight. I got a little bit of a dimple in it there that I'm going to pop back out. Let's actually see it. You can ground it. You can take the paint off for a little bit of a spot. But this is fitting real nice in that space. Nice with the back of the fender. So the next thing we'll do is get the position of it to here so that I can trim off. This piece goes all the way up to this line. I want to make sure I mark it so I never cut beyond what my part can fit. So this will be able to get in, trim off some of it so it fits in here. I'm going to clean off this back little edge in here. Weld it in there as well, and that's going to give me a little bit more new metal in that corner. It looks like it's okay, but I figure, you know, why not in there? I can clean that up. I'm going to have to clean this little area up, so I'm probably going to run the cut wheel in there to get that nice and clean, and then I'll have to re-weld it from the back, but that's okay. And yeah, that should do it. Looking pretty good. Let's keep trucking.
right, get a little bit of look at how things are here now. Got the bulk of the B-post is rebuilt. The B-post closeout panel's in there. It's welded into this area. I still have to close out this section in the bulkhead there, but the B-post is installed, welded to the bottom. I took a piece of the fender out, as you probably noticed, just to be able to access, clean everything up, build everything back up. Got it welded in up here. It's welded all the way down inside this groove, and the lines are looking pretty good. I'll set you guys down here again, and trying to get a spot where the sun's not going to be messing everything up. Alright, so these lines are not too bad. It's a little bit off there, but this post is sitting really nice. This dog leg's going to get changed at some point in the future. There's a couple little repairs, a little hole here, a couple little places where we're just going to fix things up a little bit, get a few more years out of her. But this B-post all closed up. The back side here is good. This front piece is good. And this closeout panel in the front. So it's in 3 pieces. It's all welded together on those sides. I still have to weld down the seam in the back here. So I'm going to clean that up, weld that up here probably this evening. But I won't bother recording it. I'm going to finish this video off here. Haven't got the back fender closed out yet, but the middle and inner rocker in here are in place, welded in across the back. I still have to weld the bottom edge, but I'm going to check fitment of this fender and get everything buttoned up before I finish welding that, just in case there's some tweaking I got to do. The dog leg is opened up a little bit, rebuilt the B-post, super solid, all new metal, side to side is all good, all the way across here. The B-post going down is all solid, 3 sides to it, the original stamp, the front closeout piece that was put in, and the new cap on it, all welded up. Super solid. I'll have to check for pinholes just to make sure everything's good, but pretty happy with how that turned out. Gonna close out this little section in here, but that's going to be in the next video. There's enough content on this one to be long enough. But that's all I got for now, everybody. Thanks so much for coming and watching. Appreciate it. Smash the like button if you already haven't. Share it on your social media. Help me spread this around and get me to 500 subscribers. It'd be awesome. We're at about 330, I think, around there. And throw a comment on. Say hi. Have a good one, everybody. Cheers.